Invincible Season 3's finale was full of violent and intense action, and the battle between Mark Grayson and Conquest managed to pay homage to Robert Kirkman's other mainstream series, The Walking Dead. Both franchises have subtly referenced each other for years, as The Walking Dead had several Invincible Easter eggs, such as Sam having toys for some of the characters and Archie reading an Invincible comic. Likewise, several Walking Dead actors have featured in Invincible, while a zombie universe appeared during Angstrom Levy's multiversal travels, and the franchise even has a character called the Walking Dread. Given Kirkman created each comic series, it's no surprise that both adaptations have had plenty of overlap, and Invincible Season 3 continued this tradition. Ironically, having played Negan in The Walking Dead, Jeffrey Dean Morgan was involved in Invincible's latest nod to the zombie series, as his character's fight against Mark Grayson replicated an iconic Rick Grimes scene. Having been constantly overpowered and at the mercy of Conquest, Invincible's protagonist channeled his inner Rick Grimes and used a ruthless tactic to turn the odds in his favor, which ultimately proved pivotal to Mark winning Season 3's brutal final battle. Towards the climax of Mark vs. Conquest, the hero sinks his teeth into his opponent's shoulder to break his grip, which appears to be a subtle nod to Rick killing Joe in The Walking Dead. With Mark fueled by aggression and desperate to hurt the Viltrumite, he was able to bite a chunk out of Conquest's tough skin, proving how much force he put into his attack. This seems reminiscent of Rick taking down Joe, as he is desperate to save his son from the antagonist in his group, prompting him to bite the faction leader in the throat. Overcome with rage and anguish, Rick's bite managed to kill his enemy, allowing him and his allies to pick off the rest of the claimers. The badass moment remains one of Rick's most memorable Walking Dead scenes, and proves what he was willing to do to save his allies, something Mark seems to have adopted in Invincible. With Mark killing an alternative version of the Immortal and attempting to kill Angstrom Levy, Season 3 has made it clear how far Mark is willing to go to protect his loved ones, and his latest Rick-inspired scene further emphasizes that. While Mark's bite seemed to be a direct reference to The Walking Dead, his battle with Conquest had plenty more subtle nods. The most obvious was Steven Yeun and Jeffrey Dean Morgan facing off again, as they shared an iconic scene in the zombie franchise when Negan Morgan brutally killed Glenn Yeun in front of his loved ones. Having the actors rekindle their on-screen feud paid homage to their grisly Walking Dead moment, and Mark watching Eve die before she healed herself also mimicked Maggie witnessing Glenn's death, both of which came at the hands of Morgan's characters. Conquest also shares some key similarities to GDM's iconic Walking Dead character, as they both enjoy brutalizing their victims. The overall nature of Conquest's introduction also mirrors Negan's, as they are both powerful enemies who arrive at a vulnerable time for the main characters and immediately make an impression. Conquest also shares some key similarities to GDM's iconic Walking Dead character, as they both enjoyed brutalizing their victims, and even share a similar line of dialogue, despite their different meanings. Conquest told Mark, "I thank you for it," seeming genuinely grateful that the protagonist put up a worthy fight, while Negan told Rick, "And you thanked me for it," to mock the protagonist and remind him of his place. Many aspects of Conquest vs. Mark felt reminiscent of Negan's dark introduction to The Walking Dead. And as the series progresses, I'm sure Invincible will continue paying tribute to Kirkman's other major franchise by including more references and borrowing a few iconic moments.